Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DEX program on global televisions, where we take exceptions on the national issues and foreign affairs. Of course, adding perspective to issues, and of course, giving you much in-depth analysis on some of the stories in the nations and, of course, in the foreign scene. And of course, not just we're doing this alone. The regular guest from the Nation newspaper, journalist by excellence Alao, of course, is already on standby to connect with us. All right, many thanks for still staying with us on the deck. So let's take a look at that. About 60 members of the House of Representatives are currently seeking amendment to the 1999 Constitution to transition from the current presidential system that we are to the parliamentary system of government. This is led by a lawmaker representing Lagos State under the All Progressive Congress, Wale Raji. The lawmakers identify the need for reducing the cost of government, a robust policy debate, among others, as some of the reasons for demanding a return to the parliamentary system. We'll also take a look at the fact that federal government, as in our effort to resolve the food crisis identified yesterday, to reduce the high cost of food, they have ordered the immediate release and distribution of 42,000 metric tons of grains from strategic reserves. And of course, these are the effort by the government that the grains will be given free nationwide to the needy and the vulnerable. And the Sultan of Emir seeks urgent actions on the issues of insecurity and joblessness in the country. The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, and Northern governors yesterday called for drastic measures to tackle hunger, joblessness, and insecurity. These are many more issues that we'll be taking a look on the program, the DEX, this afternoon. Many thanks for staying with us. Leo, if you can hear me, Abiodun, Leo Abiodun is a journalist with the Nation newspaper. Good to have you join us on the show this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, many thanks for joining us today. Before we get into the issues of the House of Representatives, today President Tinubu met with the governors of the 36 states at the Aso Rock Villa, and they make actually some resolutions from that meeting. Part of those, the minister just briefed the press that they are proposing, the need to really establish state policing. Some states have started the issues of state policing, and some states, are finding it very difficult to. To you, do you feel that this can tackle, completely the issues of insecurity? I'm mindful for the fact that some states are still not in any way committed, to that dialogue and debate of state security.
Yes, I think it's a strategic step by the federal government, to decentralize the issue of policing across the country. And if you check what we have in some states, you will find that we have some states already imitating something like state policing, in terms of trying to secure their own territory against any sort of intruders or any criminals who are trying to, come into their own state. And take, for example, in Lagos State, we have what looks like a model of state police, where we have a neighborhood watch that secures communities around various localities, in a bid to ensure that criminals are free from every abode in the area. But what the federal government is trying to do is to see how they can decentralize this policing system across the country, so that each state, will deal with its own problems and also find a long-lasting solution to whatever security challenge they are facing. If you look at Lagos, we have our own security challenge. Look at what we have in the north. They have their own security challenge. In the southwest or south in particular, they have their own security challenge. So rather than saying let us have different bodies. You know, if you come to the south, you can hear they have Ebubeagu. If you go to the north, you hear that they have their own vigilante or they have their own militias and all of those things. So instead of us having a proliferation of different groups, let us have something of the state police across the 36 states that we work in synergy, you know, to ensure that they tackle crime in their own respective localities. So I think it's a good step, and they're trying to see how they can implement and make it work.
Arguing against the issues of state policing, actually on the grounds that this may actually be an idea where there will be abuse of power, where some governors, particularly in some states with strong political will actually control the potentiality of the men that may be recruited into the process. You understand how that even when we have the federal policing, we still have cases where governors still uses the men of the policemen, you know, to go about doing the elections, and of course taking other, or they want to actually impeach one from the House of Assembly. We all see all of this drama always playing out. Don't you feel that if the state policing is really given an assent by the presidency and the federal government and it comes to stay, are you not afraid that it might also, though it has a disadvantage, but the disadvantage might be that it might actually cause some, you know, use to effect, of course, affecting the issues of INEC elections or other federal interventions in state, where some state will be fighting the federal government?
Yes, you have made a very good point, but so far we have to look at what are the advantages of trying to put in this strategic idea in place, which is state police. We should look at the advantage. Yes, there always disadvantage, which is overzealousness of these officials, or maybe these state governors trying to take advantage of it for their own selfish interest. Yes, we will always see that also happen. But in the long run, you know, we cannot open our eyes to allow criminals to overrun the states when we have issues, you know, going on. And if you also look at it, I have covered elections in the past couple of years. When there are elections, the police is always given that, you know, that power to ensure that they take charge of activities. And during an election, even the police, other recognized security agencies like the NSCDC, the armed forces, which is the military, you know, are allowed to cover, you know, or to ensure safety during election. Every other state security outfit, or maybe architecture, maybe you call them Amotekun or the like, no, they are not allowed to cover elections. No, you know, they don't allow that, so that, because we know those they know, we believe that some persons are controlling them, or they are, you know, responsible to the commanders. So rather than give some interest group, you know, that power to cover, no, you don't do that. So only the police will have that power, and every other recognized security outfits. So I think they should also draft out some policies or some laws that state police officials must always abide in, you know, when it comes to giving out their duties, or trying to ensure that they also follow their duties to the core. So us being scared as police, what do you call it, governors or maybe powers that be might want to hijack state police, their fears, we should keep them in our imagination for now, but at least let's take what is the advantage, greater good for the society, which we are all after, which I believe.
All right, many thanks for that contribution. We do hope that some many states will get to see the need for them to start the issues of community policing, because security has to do with everyone's business, and it's high time we make to protect our state while we are waiting for the federal government to do their bit. Let's move away from the Aso Rock issues to the House of Representatives. Yesterday, about 60 members of the House of Reps seek for an amendment in the 1999 Constitution for the transition of government from the presidential system to the parliamentary system of government. Talk to me. Do you feel that this may have the light of the day? We quite understand the cost of living is high in the presidential system of government, where you understand, you as a very close journalist, you understand the cost of running the presidential system of government compared to the parliamentary system of government. So these lawmakers are coming from that grounds that it's better for us to save costs of governance in this country. There is a need for us to go have a parliamentary. Is a bill, though. Do you feel that this bill may actually have the light of the day, quite when you understand some intricacies that may actually play out in the course of going through the bill?
Larry Dazu, I saw the bill yesterday, which was presented at the floor of the House, and you know, the transitioning from a presidential system of government that we are operating to a parliamentary system of government. And I feel it's going to be a very hard one. The transition is going to be a very hard process, because if you look at the peculiarity of Nigeria, look at what defines our country, Nigeria. Beyond ethnicity, we are divided by religion, and every other areas, makes us fragmented areas. So transitioning to a presidential, to parliamentary system of government is not just a tea party. It's something that involves so many things, which is amendment of the constitution. For example, people have been clamoring that they want them to restructure the country, federalism, and we've not even gone through all these ones. We've not even tackled the major issue people are going through, which is the masses, what they are going through. It's now transitioning to a parliamentary system of government. It's going to be a hard one, because I don't think it will be able to happen. Although the legislators are those people who, they are voted in by the masses to serve them and serve their interests, whatever it is. The executive are those who are appointed, yes. But in the long run, people also want to feel government at their roots, and that's what we are having now. We have the House of Reps, we have the Senate, which is even too many people in the number. 360 House of Reps members, 108 senators. And these people are getting allowances, they are getting bonuses, they are getting cars. So even running a parliamentary system is even, the cost of running it is also very high. Certainly, we are trying to reduce the number of representatives who will be at the parliament there and all of those things. So there are so many intricacies involved in saying you want to transition from a presidential system of government to a parliamentary system. They have their own argument, which they've seen, but Nigeria is a complex country, and we cannot just say we just want to test run this system. Yes, we've had it in the First Republic, that's at the beginning, but it was what was introduced to us, and we've seen what works for us at this present dispensation. So I think we should just try to address major issues for now and see how we can transition gently if you want to go to that parliamentary system. Yes, that might be in the long run, but not now. Your issues are still, abound across the country.
All right, of course, we do hope he's still on the floor debating, and it has the several processes that the debate would actually sculpture for that to be able to have the light of the day. But from all indications, do you feel it's about the 60 members just probably ignorance of the fact that he may have the bill may not actually have the day, or they just want to actually come on media just to cause some reaction, because the bill is actually headed by the Senate House of Reps member from Lagos State, which is an APC. I guess an APC House of Reps, and this is an APC administration. Do you feel that the party may actually see that as a move against party loyalty?
No. Well, I think it's when you are in the house, you always want to present bills that you also show that you are also a member of the house. So what the Honorable has done is not out of place. He must have studied and looked at the pros and the cons, and then rally around sending House of Rep members who also support his idea. So it's not we cannot just throw away the message. Yes, he's passing a strong message that this is what he thinks can work in a system like Nigeria, because they are legislators and they are much more closer to the grassroots, because every legislator, we have them across different constituencies in the country. So what he's saying is a good idea, but we are just looking at the dispensation. What is happening? Is it feasible? Can it work? Is it easy to transition from that presidential system we are operating now to parliamentary system? They have closer access to people at the grassroots. They come around after they are in Abuja for their bigger deliberation and all that. They also come down to their constituents to also deliberate with the constituents. So what he's saying is, because he knows that parliamentary system gives them access to the masses more, and they also have upper hand, when it comes to giving up debating issues. So what he has said is in the right direction. He knows what he's trying to push forward. He's also trying to test the waters to say if this is going to be acceptable, in the court of public opinion too, and among Nigerian masses. All
right. Look at the issue of timing. Some people are arguing that it's not sensitive to the realities of time. We are facing a lot of crises in the country. Because some person might feel that this is a distraction, to the House of Reps. What can you say about that?
Yes, that's why I said, I expect that front-burning issues should be at, the discourse now, at the House of Reps, But yes, they are doing that. A couple of times they've summoned the CBN minister, they've summoned the security chiefs over insecurity, if someone, those who are, responsible in charge of the economy. Yes. So that should be at the discourse. Some days you also have to discuss issues that they also have to deliberate. So what he has discussed is not, that's why we cannot throw it away. It is also something that he has debated to among other members, and they buy the idea in it. He must have also told or informed his constituents about the issue. So the timing is also important. And what we have now should be continuous discourse about what is the solution to the economic menace we are going through in Nigeria. What is the solution to the hardship common Nigerians are facing, on the streets. So that is just what I feel should be at the discourse too at the moment. But on some days we discuss this, we discuss that. Issues will always continue to arise, and then we'll put everything together in the proper perspective.
All right. Let's take a look at the federal government's effort to resolve food crisis in the country, to reducing the high cost of food. They have actually ordered the immediate release and distribution of 42,000 metric tons of grains from strategic reserve. According to the federal government, the grains will be given free nationwide to the needy and vulnerable. So many persons have come to this studio to also argue that not that we do not have sufficient food, that the issues that we are having is that farmers, those that are practicing subsistence farming, do not have the capacity to transport their goods, their farm produce to the capitals and of course to the cities for sales. And this is actually why we are actually facing this issue of hunger. And not because we do not have food. So the distribution of 42,000 grains nationwide, is it a way forward? Would this arrest the situation that we are having currently?
Well, it's also a step to also tackle the issue that we are going through, the issue of hardship, issue of hunger that many Nigerians have been lamenting in the past couple of days. I'm also Nigerian, and I'm also going through the same issues too. So regardless of whatever it is, this step, releasing the grains also is also a good and a strategic step. Now, we have, posited rightly in the last conversation that we have issues of transportation due to the fact that prices of petrol, cost of transporting things have gone up. So once the price of petrol goes up, ordinarily people want to increase the price of commodities too that they are selling in the market, because they also claim that we are transporting these good items to our places too. So we need to also factor in the cost of transportation. So aside the fact that we have the forex issues, even when an average person selling tomato in the market today, that dollar is high and all of these things, even when they have no business with dollar, but because all of these things work together, this is a Nigerian environment, we always want to put in different factors, when we are selling our own produce to the common man. So common man wants to buy rice, which is what they can be produced in our country, what we can afford. But you get to hear that the price is high. Why? Because the cost of transporting the food down here is also high. Then you also hear that people are hoarding the rices because they don't know what is ahead. So they want to hoard the rice and also sell at higher prices too. So the fact that government has its own to blame, we also as masses, we also have our own part to take in the blame too also, because we're also responsible for our own hardship too. I was reading something on social media, someone was saying the bag of cement is going high. In the morning it was high, in the afternoon it was also increased again. Why? Why are we trying to create sort of inflation for ourselves in our own economy too? But people also want to take advantage of a situation to see that they also benefit from it, regardless of whatever it is.
All right. Part of those controversies has been that, away from the fact that government are making effort in distributing the gains so that they can actually boost and encourage the farmers to produce, to go back to farm. Another issue has been the issues of insecurity. And here comes that the sultans and the emirs have seek urgent actions on insecurity and the high rate of joblessness that we're having in the country. This is coming from the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, and then also governors who met yesterday calling on the drastic measures to tackle hunger, joblessness, and insecurity. Take a look at the monarch, also trying to come in to arrest the situation. The other day, wife of the president was at Kano, and the monarchs also sent the same message to the presidency that hunger is actually on the high side. Do you think that the presidency are not aware of what is happening, or that they know what to do, but they are keeping Nigerians in where we are today?
Well, the message is everywhere, and it is loud and clear. Those in the system, those at the helm of affairs, are also aware, and I believe they are also trying to look for ways to see how they can ameliorate the situation. they have listened to the message. The wife of the president was in Kano, like you said, and she was, giving that same message that this is what people are going through, because the emir also, have so many people who expect him to also tell him, please, we are not happy. There's insecurity, there's hardship, people are hungry, So, but if people are able to eat 3 square meal and they are surviving on the basic meal that they get, then there won't be issues. But because the price of commodities have gone up, prices of everything have actually gone up, they cannot afford, these things. For example, how can we tackle it? Take minimum. What can we increase minimum wage? Minimum wage as it stands now, it cannot buy anything. For those who are not even who are earning 30,000 minimum wage, some cannot even buy or pay their school fees and all that. So it's very ridiculous. So if people are able to purchase the basicest of things, basic thing that they want to get, I don't think they will have issues to complain. But because of what they are going through right now, they cannot get to buy what they can afford. They cannot even get to buy the basic things they are needing in their houses. So that's where the problem is. Insecurity across different regions, both in the north, in the south, and southwest. So people are going through all of this hardship, and that's why you hear people complaining every day. And the media has taken that role to amplify the voice of the people, to let them know that this is what people are going through. And obviously, those are the Home of Affairs are here, and you could see that they are doing meetings every now and then to see what can be done. That's just like what the president has done today with governors, who is summoned to Abuja for a meeting on, discussing the way forward.
Yeah, because the Sultan also make a statement, and Nigeria is sitting on cage of gunpowder. That is coming from the Sultan. Can you describe Nigeria, that current state, to the extent of this? You understand what that means? That it means that
yes, it's like a ticking time bomb. Yes, I get you. Like a ticking time bomb, waiting to explode.
Exactly.
And if you look at issues in Nigeria, the issues do not just start today. The issues are issues that have accumulated over time. And this is not to say to put the blames on other past administrations, but just to let you know that the issues are what we have been going through before now. Insecurity didn't start today. Food crisis also didn't just start today. It has been protracted. All of these issues, economic crisis didn't just start today. There were times we have the highs, we have the lows, and also everything also at an equilibrium point. But what we're trying to say is every administration we have issues they face. The bottom line is, how do you want to mitigate these challenges? How do you want to address it such that the common masses will not feel the impact too much? I think that is where we need to tackle, and what the government of the need to address. Yes, we are a ticking time bomb, because the other day we had protests in Mina. We had protests of people who were complaining about hardship. We had those who were coming out to say, no, we don't want this again. We are hungry, we are tired, and all that. So it is what it is. And when you begin to push people to a particular point, a tipping point, it might explode. I think that's what you were trying to explain with the fact that we are sitting on the keg of the gunpowder. Yes, because people are still keeping meals. They're still trying to, hold themselves back to say, oh, let's just hold on, let's persevere. In Nigeria, as Nigerians, we have that perseverance spirit to always, forge on, regardless of whatever issues with it. So I think that's just what he was trying to illustrate in that situation.
Yeah, the condition of the country is actually worrisome. I was on the street today in a Vox Pop, conducting a Vox Pop, trying to establish the impact of subsidy removal. And so many people are saying that it seems we need a subsidy back because the temporal means was not established. And for over 8 months, it seems Nigerians are actually very close to their grave. Some Nigerians are close to their grave because some are not even eating 2 times a day. Some cannot even afford a day square meal. If you go to the street, you understand the implications of this. That the fuel is still high, the transportation is still high, and that it seems that they may want the subsidy back. Do you think that this must be a concern to the government? Because Kenya, I think Kenya also did the same thing when they tried removing subsidy, and then they understand the people who were unable to survive, the fence, and they actually had to restore back the issues of subsidy. Do you feel that Nigeria government, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should go back to that decision as it stands now?
Well, the government is still trying to, make some payments for some of these issues. People don't know that the government is trying to, behind. Not what we have is not sort of full subsidy, in the long run. Yeah, government also has to set some debts behind, just to reduce the burden, and that's why you can see that the NNPC will be the one selling at this rate. You get to see other filling stations selling at their own rates. So if the government should take back the burden again, it will be much more, as it is. Although the price of fuel will also reduce, will come down because the government will be the one taking the payment and all of this thing. But that is not to say that the issues will not be still there. Now, when we had before down, we always had fuel queues. We always have marketers, waking up to arbitrary prices of fuels and all that. It took the government intervention to now come into. Let's see how the market forces can control the price of this fuel. So that's one of these things that the government did. But now it now looks confusing now, because if you go to filling station, we have fuels, but the prices are high. And that's why when things go high, they affect other commodities. That's what is happening. The price of fuel is high. Definitely other things that are using that fuel, with the price definitely go high. You cannot expect me to be selling food, going to transport it from a far distance, then I will not put the cost of factoring that cost of transportation into the business. So that's what is just playing out here. So let's see what the government is considering. We've not heard if the government wants to consider that, the council subsidy and go back to how it is. I'm not sure the government wants to consider that, but I think the government is trying to make effort, to also set some payments behind the scenes to ensure that every issue at least is dousing the tension, with respect to the prices of fuel as it is now.
Right now, once we return, we'll now take a look at Wike's move in regarding FCT insecurity. This, and of course, we'll also take a look at some other steps by government to address the issues of insecurity. Because on Tuesday, the service chiefs met with the Senate, and some of those reports came that they passed a vote of confidence on the service chiefs. And many Nigerians are asking, are they doing enough to deserve that? Quite very frankly, there might actually be some conditions regarding the movement by the Senate to give the service chief a vote of confidence. We'll take a look at all of these once we return from this break. Don't go away. Stay with us on the decks. I am Medican Michael. Many thanks for still staying with us on the decks. We are still having Alio, journalist with the Nation newspaper, joining us from Lagos regarding some of the issues that we are taking a look this afternoon on the program. Let's take a look at the move by FCT ministers in arresting the issues of insecurity, which according to Wike, that the security of FCT is very paramount, and he stated this when he visited the FCT command by placing a 20 million naira bounty on 2 wanted kidnappers terrorizing the territory. And it seems this was a technique, according to so many persons, that he actually used in Rivers State, trying to curb the issues of insecurity in Rivers. And we'll take a look at if this may actually restore peace in the Federal Capital Territory, and if other persons may actually emulate this, how sustainable these actions or these steps can be in restoring peace in Nigeria. And if you can hear me, take a look at what Wike is doing in FCT, placing 20 million naira bounty on 2 wanted kidnappers, to the Federal Capital Territory Police Command. Is this the way forward? Is it the way to go?
Well, it's like we said, security is everybody's business, and everybody must always be on the lookout for whatever criminal activity is going on in their area. So what the governor of Abuja or the mayor of Abuja has done is to see how people can be on the lookout, give them that motivation to also look out for who are those disturbing or terrorizing our environment. And what he did in Rivers in terms of insecurity, he came out all out to fight, insecurity in the state to a standstill. And what he's doing in Abuja, Abuja is a different terrain from what he had in Rivers. So that's why he's trying to put his foot to see how he can, get everybody's attention to ensure that this thing is happening. You have complained, then let us see how we can tackle it too. But police does that every time, placing bounty on suspects. If you know this suspect, we place these bounties for you to give us, directions or give us information about what you know about this person, so that we can arrest or we can go there to nab those suspects. Yes. So what he has done is not out of place. It's just an opportunity to also bring people on board together to see how they can also, collaborate with him to let him know that these are the people who are disturbing our environment in Abuja. And I think what he has done is not out of place. Is maybe not practically sustainable. In the long run, if you see also get people who also rally around to see that, we'll be able to push out this thing and be able to achieve it. And I think we can work on it that way. So the governor, the minister has made a move, and so it's a good step. Let's see how far this can go. That's what we should also look at too.
Head straight to the Central Bank of Nigeria, because as we speak, dollars may actually get to 2,000 naira if issues are not well being put to rest. And the president has sent a letter to the Senate asking for the confirmation of a chairman and members for the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Monetary Policy Committee. This letter was presented to the Senate President at the plenary. Take a look at the fact that Naira is still high, and the new CBN governor, came with a fresh air, with some background, with some hope, to actualize the renewed hub agenda of Bola Tinubu. But it seems he met Naira as at 400 or 500 thereabouts. But now we are dancing towards the 2,000 naira dollar exchange to a Naira. Are you disappointed by the CBN? Or if you're not disappointed, do you feel that they have the capacity to tackle these issues? Because it's actually as if they're out of ideas.
Yes, just like the way you are also disturbed and worried about the way the dollar is, going up on a daily basis. We can just wake up. Every day we wake up. Each day we wake up, we get to hear new rates. And just like every Nigerian, we always disappointed. Why is this also going on this way like this? And that's why I think there's a vote of confidence in the CBN chief, that's Cardoso, to see how he can rally around to resuscitate the economy and also see how to resuscitate the naira to dollar exchange, the value. And people are expecting, sorts of magic to happen. If you don't have magic, can happen in a day. That's what I believe. I always tell myself that things have happened this way. In Nigeria, for example, when things go up, before it comes down, it takes days, months before it now gradually comes back. Now you see that the price is going up, or the value rather is going up on a daily basis. It is adding, some figures to it, and the next thing you see is already siphoning. Today is 1,600. I also checked, I saw pounds is also going to 2,000, from now 1,900 to 2,000, what people have been posting on social media and all that. So things are getting high on a daily basis, despite the parallel market and the black market rate and CBN rate, it's still disturbing. But we want to believe that there's a magic wand or something that can happen, in terms of trying to balance this value or this rate that we have at the moment. But it's quite worrisome and disturbing that it seems like it's going to take a long run, and that's why I don't want any Nigerian to expect magic in terms of this rate that we are seeing so far. You just wake up each day and we get to see rates, going on. In the last couple of weeks, the CBN tried to see how they could regulate it, to see how they could bring it down. It has to do with the market forces too. So, but it's not easy. But we are hopeful that something spectacular might come up. But maybe if the monetary policy team also put their heads together, think tank policy put their heads together to see what are the way we can try to, balance this rate and make everything be at least a reasonable price. Maybe we could get to see something substantial that will happen in the long run.
All right. Let's take a look at this last analysis before we actually bring the program to an end. The Senate, on their last plenary on Tuesday, actually gave the service chiefs passes vote of confidence on them, and this has actually caused Nigerians to react as to if the issues of insecurity they have done a great job in the issues of insecurity. Do you feel that this was a political move by the Senate, or it means that the security chiefs are up to delivering a perspective or strategy, arresting the security situation that we're having? Because we don't have to keep on playing with Nigerians.
Yes, like I always say that insecurity is not what should be politicized. We don't have to politicize issues of security, particularly, as it stands in the country. Security must be tackled to a standstill, such that every region, every state must feel the impact of security forces in terms of protecting and restoring sanity to that environment. And then so far, for me, the security chiefs have in their own jurisdiction, I've tried to see how to restore peace and sanity across the country. But it's a long ride. It's not something that wants to be done overnight or something that you get accolades overnight. No, Nigerians should be the one giving you the accolades for us to appreciate you, that, oh, we appreciate our servicemen. Yes, they are doing a great job because they are also giving their lives to ensure that they protect our territorial integrity. But that is not enough. Nigerians should be the ones to give it that well-deserved accolade. Across the north, you see different issues of banditry, kidnappings, herdsmen, militias, and all of those issues. Across the south here, we also have daily cases of kidnappings, daily cases of one chance, robberies, and all of those issues. So we have our policemen who are also doing their own job. We should also have our security men complementing their efforts too. That's the military also complementing the efforts in such that areas where they need to establish their presence, they should operate. For example, a few weeks back we had the issue of the Plateau that had so many crises there, and it's enveloped the media because there were rising numbers of dead persons that the figures were on a high rate. And then people were worried that what is the security chief, what are they doing in this kind of situation? People are being killed, communal clashes, and all those issues. So I think what they should do, we should just charge them to rise up more to the occasion at this period to see how best they can put in all their efforts to tackle insecurity to a standstill across the country, so that the accolades can come from Nigerians. They can also appreciate their effort and let them know that, yes, you have done a great job, and we want you to do more to ensure that the country is free from crimes and problems.
Many thanks, Alao Abiodun, journalist from The Nation newspaper, for joining us on the decks today, taking a look at this. We hope to see you again some other times to take a look at some major national issues. It's always a pleasure to have you connect to us. Many thanks, Abiodun, once again. And that's the march we'll be taking on the decks. Till we see you again tomorrow, where we'll be taking a look at more current national issues and foreign affairs. I remain Edikan Michael, your host. Many thanks for watching.